presentation today is the amazing Pamela Plick. We're so excited to have Pamela to join us. Her chapter in Lead, Amazing Woman Lead, was the essential power to master your worth. How much we know we need that. Every moment we have the ability to choose to recognize and honor our own unique zone of worth, our sense of clarity, our range of focus, our gifts we are bringing to the world. We welcome you, Pamela Plick.
Hello.
Hi, Pamela. And Becky, this is a conversation between Pamela and I, so I don't know how you want to set that up on the screen, but Pamela and I are going to talk about a lot of things, but mostly we're going to focus on, and any of you entrepreneurs out there or aspiring to be an entrepreneur or aspiring to start a new business or use this time to invest your sense of worth, increase your sense of worth and become purpose-driven entrepreneur, this would be the time to tune in and turn up the volume, because Pamela Plick always has something great to share about how we can find our sense of worth and own our financial power.
Well, thank you, Marsh. First off, I want to say that it's so important now more than ever that we as women bring our unique gifts into the world in ways that have the greatest impact. One of the great ways we can do that is through becoming a purpose-driven entrepreneur. So that's the focus for today. But I want to first give the definition of zone of worth. Okay, in my opinion, your zone of worth means that you know your value, that you're focused on recognizing, rising, and standing in your power. You're overcoming the limiting beliefs related to sabotaging your purpose, your mission, your focus. And so that's kind of the frame in terms of zone of worth. In terms of, I want to give a couple statistics too, and you can, if you have questions or you want to jump in, you're welcome to do that. 4 out of 5 businesses in the US, now that's 40% of all new businesses are started by women entrepreneurs. However, we now are receiving less than 50% of the funding compared to our male counterparts. I also want to share that in 2008, only 1.79% of women owned businesses generated $1 million or more in revenue.
Wait, say that again.
Only 1.79% of women-owned businesses broke the $1 million in revenue.
That's important to hear, because social media would tell us something different. And I get fired up about this a lot, right?
I know, yeah.
Because my clients come and I'm going to tell you they're dismayed because they say, everybody around me is so successful. And I'm like, you know what? Have you been on social media, or is that what you're talking about? Because a lot of social media blows things up, and I get very discouraged by that for our sense of worth. What it does when we compare in that way, and I won't go on and on about this, although I could go on and on about this because I'm fired up about it. It's that when we compare, and we're comparing ourselves to a false image out there, that says, the way social media would tell us is that every woman is making, billing well in advance of $1 million a year, and it discourages people. So I want us to footnote that wherever you are in starting up your business, and maybe you have more to say about what you were talking about there earlier, but I'd like you to talk to us about wherever you are at starting your business, how can we own our worth, keep our worth, the energy of our worth high, and stay in that zone of worth?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the other caveat that I want to mention, when we talk about the disparity in pay in terms of gender, becoming an entrepreneur kind of levels that playing field,
That's great, yes.
That's the first thing. And in terms of women getting funding, it's not necessarily because they don't have a viable business. It's really when they look at financials, how we're putting together those financials, how we're presenting, that pitch to whoever we're trying to get funding from. So what I've done is I put together I want to give you 5 quick steps, important steps that women entrepreneur can take to help master their zone of work. First of all, trust your vision. A lot of times we get talked out of our vision by well-meaning, friends or family. But, it's important as part of trusting that vision is to know yourself. What's your passion? What's your purpose? What gives you joy? And that's what you're going to operate from. Then you want to also know your business. What type of business do you want to have, right? Who do you want to serve? Who are your ideal clients? And so I think that's so important. First step, trust your vision. Next, I think it's important to eliminate any limiting beliefs and self-sabotaging. And I know all of us have experienced this at one point or another. We have to know that we deserve success, that the universe is supporting us. Trust that, our vision, is being supported by the universe. So we have to have, that part of that mindset, eliminating those limiting beliefs. I can't do this. I'm not good at running a business. No one's going to buy my products or services. So kick those to the curb. All right. And then the next step is actually operating your business from a prosperity mindset. Okay. Not from a place of lack. There's so many of us that, we're purpose driven. We want to be in service, right? So we want to help everyone. Unfortunately, not everyone is our client, and that's okay. But you have to focus on how can I help? Maybe they're not quite ready for your services, but maybe you can refer them to a book as a first step. And down the road, when they're ready, they can come back and you can serve that person. Another challenge that I see in terms of money prosperity mindset is bartering. A lot of women want to barter. We're not a nonprofit. Otherwise, we would be working with a nonprofit. So you want clients that are paying clients, right? The type of clients that you want to serve, and then charging what you're worth. I know because we want to help everyone. Sometimes we will either lower fees or because we really want to help, and that's wonderful. But we have to think about, what is our zone of worth and being able to, charge, what we're worth. And not worrying about, well, if I raise my fees, then my clients won't pay those fees. Okay. And then fourth step is getting the support that you need. We need to get over the CEO mindset. And by that, I mean Chief Everything Officer. So when we first start.
Say that again, because that's funny. That's good.
Chief Everything Officer. Now, when we first start a business, absolutely, we're the Chief Everything Officer, right? But as our business starts to grow, we start to make revenues, make a profit, then we have to really look at, staying in our zone of genius. Just because we know how to do something, we may have a background in that, is that the best use of our time, okay? And in terms of looking at best use of our time, 3 things: either delegate, automate, or delete, automate, or delegate, right? So if it's something no one should be doing in your business, delete it. If it's something that can be automated, automate it, then if not, delegate it. Okay, that's a great way of scaling our business. And then since we were talking about actually getting the funding that we need. It's important that we understand what we need to do to be able to scale our business, right? In terms of what funding we need or what services that we need, what support we need to be able to do that. And then lastly, it's okay to make money. I work with a lot of women who are very creative. And when we're talking about money archetypes, that's a creator artist. I just want to do my business. I want to help people. I don't want to worry about how much money my company is making. But what we want to think about is for those of us who strive to live an abundant life, part of abundance is financial prosperity. So if we're prosperous, the more money we make, the more money or resources that we have to help either family, causes that we are passionate about, more of an impact that we can make into the world. So it is really okay to make money. So those are kind of the five things that I think entrepreneurial women
Pamela, we're going to have to schedule an hour interview because, I started making notes and then I thought, you know what, I can't ask all these questions. Do we have to schedule an interview, like a long hour-long interview? Because the richness of what you just said, I could just banter with you on so many of these elements. What I got though, for today, what I could say from everything that you just shared, which was incredibly powerful. I encourage everybody to listen to this multiple times because it was so rich in content. But I got that our zone of worth is a direct link to our why. If we know our why, we can live in the zone of worth. And let me tell you, from my perspective of being at it here for a while with a dream that I'm very passionate about and at times intimately emotional about. I get, I love seeing women successful.
Yeah.
When I'm out in the field, when I'm out there and there's a rejection that happens or harsh language that happens or what could be considered, a misstep, a decision I made that didn't work out the way I'd hoped it was going to. So there's some level of disappointment. When I encounter those, I'm going to tell you, when I go back to my why, immediately like that, I'm out of it. Mm-hmm. I don't take any of that personally because I know the why. And then what you've shown me today through this is that when I know my why, I'm in my zone of worth. I got it. So the elements that you gave us today, defining zone of worth, very much could be, this is what drives me. This is what moves me. This is what encourages me to stay true to my path. Mm-hmm. This is what, there's many, many times, and I've shared a few times with some of you that I almost quit multiple times. I almost stopped multiple times. Something big would happen and I would be like, are you kidding? I just don't, should I keep doing this? Is this really the path that I'm to be on? And take pause for a moment and come back and go at it again because it had a hold of me. It had this mission is bigger than my, me any day. So I love the way you've defined zone of worth. I love that you're part of the book. I love sitting in your presence and learning from you. And I'm so happy you're part of our day today. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. And let me leave the viewers with this last thought. In every moment that we choose to walk our greatness into the world, we honor our zone of worth. So keep that in mind.
Yes, thank you. That's beautiful.